So I was reading earlier, matter of fact, first thing this morning, about how important first things are. And I was reading in Exodus chapter 13, verse 13. I'll read the English. And every firstling of an ass or donkey you shall redeem with a lamb. And if you will not redeem it, then you shall break his neck. Break the baby donkey's neck. Every firstling. Previous verse was talking about every time any of your animals have a first donkey or sheep or goat or whatever, then you have to redeem or pay a ransom for that animal. You have to either give it to the Father, give it to Yehovah. Of course, that's what the Levites, the priestly guys that did all the work in and around the temple. Those are some of they didn't have stuff. I mean, that's a lot of the way they got their food. I don't know a lot about that, but back to this. You know, Daddy gives us, he architected, he designed, he engineered imagination, and he gave us imagination. And he will use imagination to do a lot of things. But one of the ways he uses imagination is to communicate with his little children that are seeking him. That's the key to all of this. That's the key to the entire well message. Big Daddy is seeking those that are seeking him so that he can give them gifts. Unto you it is given to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven. And this is one of those. Exodus 13:13, and every firstling of an ass or a donkey you shall redeem or ransom with a lamb. And if you will not redeem it, then you shall break his neck. And as soon as I read that, my imagination went. And all of a sudden I started in my imagination seeing this scene. And I saw this man way back there, thousands of years ago in Israel, and he just didn't have much. He was poor, and his donkey had grown up, and he had finally gotten her bred, and finally the pregnancy came to an end, and a little male donkey was born, and he was so excited because that was so important. That was so important. I mean, we have big trucks to haul goods. They had donkeys. It was very important. Donkeys were really important. And he was the first born of his female donkey, and it was a male, and he knew he didn't want to break his neck, but he would, because he was honoring the Torah, the teaching, the instructions, the directions of Yehovah, Big Daddy. So all his nearby neighbors knew he was kind of in a fix. He didn't have a flock of sheep. I'm seeing this. This guy didn't have a lot, didn't have any sheep. So he went to a neighbor that he knew had sheep, and he said, can I buy a lamb, one of your lambs? He said, yeah, the guy, yeah. He knew the guy was in a tight. That donkey was worth a lot to him, and he had to have a lamb or he'd have to break his neck, because this man with the donkey was an honorable man. And although the guy he was asking if he could buy a lamb from him, he was not so honorable. It's just in my imagination. So the guy with the sheep flock said, yeah, I'll sell you a lamb. Well, how much? He said, $200. And the donkey man was like, $200? How many lambs like this go for $100? What, $200? I can't afford $200. He said, well, that's the price. Thinking he had the guy. Well, the guy just went home. The donkey guy, he just went home. And he went out, and another neighbor he knew had some sheep. He went to him, visited him very humbly, and he said, I'd like to buy one of your lambs. But all the neighbors kind of knew he was in a fix. He's poor. They're going to take advantage of him. They're going to gouge him for the price of a lamb. They all know that donkey's worth a lot to this guy. He'll pay whatever for a lamb. So we're going to gouge him. So he goes to the next guy, same story. $200. He goes to another guy, third guy. I need to buy a lamb, please. He said, yeah, sure, I'll sell you a lamb, $200. And all the guys near him that had a flock of sheep were all saying the same thing, because they weren't honorable. And word got out. You know how word gets around. And there was this fairly he wasn't wealthy, but he had done well. He made good business decisions. He was shrewd, and he was smart, and he was kind of like upper middle class. I mean, he had plenty, and he had flocks of sheep. And somebody was telling this story in the marketplace, and he was listening to it, and they were kind of laughing at the old donkey guy. How he's going to have to break his donkey's neck. But this man asked, well, what's his name? Where does he live? Oh, it's so-and-so. He lives down there, blah, 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 blah. Okay, all right. So that evening, everybody's kind of gone home for the evening, kind of cooking supper, getting things ready, going to eat supper, go to bed. He goes out and tells his foreman, the well-off guy, he tells his foreman, I'm saying this, he tells his foreman, I want you to go out, I know it's late in the day, but I want you to go out and bring me our best lamb. And the foreman, okay. So he goes out, and he's having to do a little overtime, but that's okay. It's what they do. He's the foreman, he's earned his position. He's a hardworking guy, and he knows his bosses. When he says something, you better do it. So he goes out and he finds the very best lamb. I mean, he gets it down to the best 2 or 3, and he's like, this is the best one. So he takes the best one to his master, and he says, this is the best one we have, sir. He said, well, thank you. Okay, go ahead. Go home. Go do your supper. Thank you. So this guy, the well-off guy, he just tells his wife, I'll be back. I'm going on a short trip. I'll eat some supper when I get back. It may be late. So he walks all the way to this guy's house, and it's not across the street. And he gets there, and it's about to get dark. I mean, it's last light. And he knocks on the guy's door and says, are you so-and-so? He said, yes, sir. I heard your donkey had a baby. Yeah, see, yes. Uh, you are you here to sell me a lamb? He said, no. I want to give you this lamb. We've been invited to come sit with the Father and the Son and the breath or the Spirit of the Father and be tutored by them in the ways of the kingdom. I don't do these videos so you guys will be impressed. I could care less about being impressive. I don't do these videos so you go, wow, that was a cool revelation. It's not why I'm here. I'm here so that you can know that he wants to know you. He really meant what he said. And then Yeshua heard what the Father said and re-said it. Seek first the kingdom. Seek first the kingdom of heaven. Seek first the kingdom of our Father. Seek first the kingdom and his right ways. Unto you it is given to know the mysteries of the kingdom. Unto you it is given. A gift is being offered to us to know. That word know. And Adam knew his wife Eve. Unto you it is given a gift to become one with, to know the mysteries of our Father's kingdom and the way he operates, so that life can come out of that knowing. I did the church thing. I did the religious thing. But until I found myself in a tight spot, one of many tight spots in my life, this one I had nothing to do with, until I found myself in a tight spot and said, Daddy, what do I do? I'll do it. I'll go any direction. What do you want me to do? Come sit with me. And he just continued, come sit with me, come sit with me, come sit with me. Finally, after 2.5 months or more, I finally sat down early in the morning, nobody up, and I sat down with him. And that day I began to learn his ways. He's seeking those of us that are his, that are willing to humble themselves as little children and go sit with them. These two men that just came up in my imagination in this weird donkey verse out of nowhere. These two men were showing the ways of the kingdom. The man with the baby donkey, no lamb, no way to redeem, just didn't have hardly any money to buy a lamb. But if he had to follow this scripture, he would have broken that donkey's neck and just waited on the next one to come, which could have been a couple of years down the road. He was honorable. And the well-off, shrewd businessman that heard the story, that came and gave his best lamb so that the guy wouldn't have to wait a couple more years. See, that's not just another honorable man. That's what Big Daddy did for us. It's one of the ways of the kingdom. It's how the kingdom operates. Other people first. Give your best. See a need, you have the ability to fill the need, fill the need. These are the ways of the kingdom. And I'm just trying to encourage one person on this earth, just one or maybe two people on this earth, to see that you have been called to go up the mountain. Come, let us go up to the mountain of Yahovah, our Elohim, Big Daddy himself. Let us go into the tent of meeting. Let us go sit in the shadow of Yeshua, who is seated next to the Father, in that small shadow, just big enough for a little child to sit in. I just come here to encourage you. We can know them. We can be tutored personally. By Big Daddy himself. Think of somebody you'd like to tutor you, that would stop what they're doing and tutor you as long as you wanted to sit there and ask questions and listen. Just think of anybody in the earth or anybody that's ever been born. Big Daddy's way, way, way beyond that. And he's inviting us to sit with him and to get to know him, his ways, his way of thinking. All that from a donkey verse. Woo! Thank you, Daddy. Wow. Isn't he amazing? Come, come, come. Let us go up to the mountain of Yahovah, our Elohim. Let us enter into his tent and sit with him in that secret place, that little shadow, humbling ourselves like little children so that we have the ability to enter in there and sit and just ask him questions and seek to know his ways, his wisdom, his understanding. Wow. Come. Let us go up. Love you guys.